The Carnival of the Damned, a level 0 funnel adventure by David Beatty. So for those of you that don't know, David Beatty is one of my best buddies, and I introduced him to DCC RPG, which he absolutely hated, until he got involved in the convention scene, the community, and he really understood what the game was about and really embraced what it was trying to do. And with that, he made his first product, which is the Carnival of the Damned. This has been out for a while, and I finally decided to do a video about it because it's got a bunch of great reviews, of course. He really put his heart and soul into this first project. And his next thing that he's created it used to be called Dark Trails, and now it's called Weird Frontiers. And I've done videos about that, and I will do more videos about that in the future. But looking into this as his first product, I think he really just did a great job. So we're gonna go into it. It's a digest size, obviously. Doug Kovacs cover. It's got your pink fog and stuff, and obviously it's got a big clown motif going on with it. And this is, this dark black jester here. And then there's the back, and it's available on Ttrpg, the PDF and the print. That's what this is from them. So let's take a look inside. So I got it signed by him because he's my buddy. I was like, David, I got to get your signature. This is your first thing you ever made. So, sign it for me. So there you go. And you're going to have your table of contents there. And then a lot of people play tested this. He ran this a lot at a bunch of conventions. And that's how we got to know all these people and kind of fine tune it. Me and him, we went out and got dinner a lot, and we would kind of brainstorm about certain encounters and stuff. And he likes to put in a little bit of story, showing you some pictures of people that have enjoyed it at the convention, that have helped him on his journey with DCC RPG. And then he thanks some people, there I am, for adding fuel to the flames of creation. That's for sure. Because we really, this was, a big project for him, his first project. And much like Weird Frontiers, where it kind of just, you want to put so much and just, give so much quality and quantity. It's big, I think it's quite different than a lot of other funnels. So it is got rules in there for tournament style play, as well as a normal funnel. So there's 30 detailed encounters and tons of random threats, it says. And so the tournaments is, you pretty much have a certain amount of people, and you see how long their character can survive as many encounters as they can before they die. And then they're the winner of the tournament. If somebody dies, a new player comes in. So that's how you kind of keep shuffling around the players and their characters. So a bit of an overview of the adventure here. It's based off obviously a very dark, evil carnival, but there's a pretty sad story, a drama really, in behind the scenes of what's going on. And this section here is going to kind of tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to tell you a little quick synopsis of the Black Jester's history, and then kind of go into a more detailed, view of it. So, Emmerich Bertram is going to be the jester who turns sour in this story, and he deals with some sadness involving his family, his wife and his daughter, and he also gets kind of betrayed by this lord. And he gets tortured and ultimately killed by this lord, as that's not good for him, obviously. But he makes a pact with a dark god, Gelos, the dark god of madness, who, in essence, puts him back together and he's now the Black Jester. And so this tells you all kind of about that story. So, and then it goes into the actual carnival. So throughout, you're going to see some art and stuff from various artists. And the thing about the carnival is, during the day it's a normal carnival, but at night, all the kids and stuff who got goodies and treats and stuff, those treats kind of come alive and whisper and tell the kids to come back to the carnival, where you'll go to Carnival Land, and where all your dreams can come true. All worries and hardships are erased, and they'll be able to have sugary delights. It's a whole land. It's like a Willy Wonka of candy. But what's really happening is this Gelos, this dark god, is feeding off the souls of these children. They're not hurt or anything, but once every night when the dark carnival comes into being, some of those children are in essence erased, their souls given to Gelos, and the other kids, their minds are kind of wiped about those other kids. But the parents, they all suffer from a nightmare, kind of a collective nightmare that wakes them up. And that's how this adventure kind of starts, is that the kids have left wrappers and stuff that leads the player characters that are going to be townsfolk back to the carnival, but it's changed. It's much more nasty now, and so we'll talk about that. So there's two different ways of defeating the Black Jester. One is, of course, to put a sword to his face and kill him. The other way is to investigate the story behind the carnival and the Black Jester, and it's going to be a thing where you collect a certain amount of items. One is being the violin from his wife, the other is the burned teddy bear of his daughter, as well as his friend that he made, which was a unicorn, who's been now transformed into a statue. So it's going to be a little bit of an item finding thing, but with unlocking the story. So where a lot of funnels just kind of have a dark place and nasty people or creatures, and you go in there because they're terrorizing the town, this has got something you can kind of piece together and find out. You're going to be looking for summoning keys, which will open up this kind of pocket dimension where this the carnival dimension is, in essence, the carnival land, and where the kids are for you to be able to free them. So it slightly kind of reminds me of Temple of Doom, but it has this dark underbelly story that's, really quite sad. They're going to find a magic lantern, which is going to be like a 17th century photography projector, and they'll find slides. And these slides, they'll slip in, and it'll kind of explain the history of the Black Jester. Many things in this adventure is going to kind of give you that push to tell your player characters exactly what's been going on so they can piece it together. So hopefully they can defeat him in this way here. So it's going to have several encounters that are going to have those certain summoning keys in them. The Mist of Gelos, which are much like this pink fog here, is going to control the player characters and kind of lead them to where they need to go into different encounters. And of course, it's going to tell you more about the unicorn and how it plays into it. So here's the encounter index. There's 28 listed encounters there. And here's a map of all the different, in essence, these are rides, what we would probably pretty much call them. And so that's one of the things that's the most fun about this adventure, is that I think we all know about carnivals. We know what's in there, what type rides are there. And these are all very dark takes on those encounter rides, with a lot of clowns, a lot of demented things, and it leads to quite a long and meaty adventure. But you can choose which encounters you want to use. And that's how you would do that for the tournament play too, based off the time you have. If you want to get this done in one session, you can choose a couple here and there. If you want to do all of them, maybe it can take you a couple sessions, you can do that. So that's what makes it very helpful, in the fact that you get all these different rides, these carnival encounter rides, and there's something that's already kind of known to the players. So I think they're going to be able to grasp onto it very easily, because we know what these things are. So you're going to start off at Arrival at the Carnival, and there's going to be a statue of the Mad God. And I'm just going to kind of go through these very fast. I tried this video before, and I was trying to break down each one of those, and it just led into a big, long video. So you've got a ball pit here. One thing I'll tell you, it's got some cool maps about some of these encounters, because they're a little bit complex, is David has thought about ways to cheat these different rides and different encounters. And there's pretty much safeguards, because your player characters are going to get, your players are going to get smart, and their characters are going to try to figure out a way to get around these things. But David has also thought of a lot of those too, and he's put in those safeguards to stop that, many times to deadly effect. So here's a cool piece of art here. Definitely reminds me of Star Wars, but they're in a big ball pit, and this big monster's there lurking. Mistress of Fate is going to be like an automaton. You can give her certain coins. She's got a crystal ball. And she will tell you, by showing you, when you ask certain questions, something that's whatever she can answer in that crystal ball. And that's going to obviously help you with knowing about the story, knowing about the children and stuff like that, where the keys, and so on. And she can pop up however she wants. So what you can do is the fog comes in, the pink fog comes in, and if you've chosen certain encounters, you can just go to one to another. So after the characters have defeated one ride, or one encounter, and they continue traveling through the fog, they can see through the fog, they can see the next ride or encounter. So it allows you kind of just take them through in kind of a linear, non-linear way where you would like for them to go. And it all makes sense in this dark, evil carnival. So strongman game, that's where you use the hammer to ring the bell, except a lot of them have like a twist, a deadly twist. If you do poorly on this, your head becomes the bell, and of course the hammer is going to try to destroy you. The tattoo parlor is cool. You can get different tattoos. The character there, Claudius, also knows some stuff, and you can get different tattoos that will give you different abilities. And if you have them, DCC temporary tattoos would be pretty cool to use with that. So again, this embraces a lot of the stuff that brings the game out from the table into the player's hands and let them do stuff physically, putting little temporary tattoos on themselves to gain this ability, to gain to these abilities. And there's some other stuff in there as well that really embraces that. The Tilt-A-Whirl is very deadly. It's going to try to throw you out and kill you. The Whack-A-Mole is one of my favorites. It's got a side view here of it. Pretty much your head is going to be poking up through one of these holes. And there's going to be a huge mole man with a hammer trying to destroy your head, and that's detrimental to your body and your living life force that's in you. So the hammer will destroy your head, thus killing you. You're stuck in like a glue, and you can try to force your way out. Try to use your strength to try to get out of that glue. So it's going to kind of move up and down, and your heads, the different characters' heads are going to pop up, and these guys are going to try to smash you. Snake Pit's pretty cool. It's got a bunch of cobras that can spit at you. This laser beam, and there's a bunch of different kind of rewards and treasures you can get for defeating them. So one thing that's cool, there's a lot of different things to give the characters, which a lot of times DCC funnels don't give you a whole bunch. You've got to really kind of search for it, but this is going to give you a lot because could be very, very deadly because there's many encounters should you do them all. Petting Zoo is pretty cool. You got a transparent cow with different color milk that have different properties, a giant two-headed goat trying to kill you, this cockatrice harem, free killer rabbits that they give you if you can hold on, you can take one, it's going to give you a +1 to your luck, but if it dies throughout the course of the adventure, you're going to be cursed with -1 luck. And there's the man pig who's going to try to murder you. The love tunnel, that's always a cool visual one. So what's going to happen if you ride alone or if you ride with someone else. There's a mirror maze, and again, you're going to find things such as more of these magic lantern slides, as well as the coins you need to give to the Mistress of Fate, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the story. So you're going to be collecting the slides. You will also be collecting some of the summoning keys, as well as the Black Jester specific items that are part of his backstory. And then you'll be collecting the coins to do with the Mistress of Fate. So she might show up several times so that the players, the characters can go and use her ability to be able to find out more about the story. Bone Coaster's cool. Roller coaster, made out of bones with monkeys on balloons with scorpion tails. Looks fun, also looks quite deadly. The Copper Arcade, it's got like a Jester's Claw. It's got like skeet ball, crossbows, and clowns. And you can get some stuff out of there, obviously. 3-card Rooster is used with, there's pretty much a rooster with walnut shells, and you actually play that game in front of your players, however you want to do it, with cups or whatever. And that's how you play the game, is you actually play the 3-card Rooster with your players. There's a cotton candy machine, a tea party, a little girl who's got some information, and she's got a bunch of chairs, and a lot of description here. He wrote out a lot of stuff to be able to read or paraphrase for your players. And she has her stuffed friends are enjoying a tea party at an ornate child-sized table. Obviously, more drawings of clowns. She's got some clues to help you. The Jester's Tongue is a big slide ride that ends in a lot of these blades, possibly destroying your lower section of your body and your gutty works. So that's going to be detrimental, and you're going to have to get out of that. And let's see what else. We got the Bearded Lady. She has a lot of information that she can tell you. There's a pie eating contest. So, again, a lot of things that we already kind of know. The Feast of Kings has got a very large woman where you're trying to guess her weight. But she also has these servants that are trying to feed her. But they're cannibals. They try to poison you, and they want to try to eat you. And if you're able to get into her chest, again, you can see here, things of a lot of value, as well as some magical items and one of the slides. Trapeze puts you in the, pretty much, your mind is taken over, and you have to do the same thing a trapeze artist would do. The Scarus Wheel is going to have a clown spider that's involved on it. And then the House of Stalwart Minds is going to be a test of your players' mental fortitude, how smart they are with this riddle, as well as this kind of find the word game, more riddles and stuff like that. It's all very cool, stuff that you can hand to your players and let them read and try to figure out. The dragon cannon is going to shoot them off to another side of the carnival. It could also be possibly a little bit deadly. There's a corn maze with this guy in the middle of it. He's going to try to kill you. There's also a murder of crows. They're going to murder you. Big surprise. The Clown Factory. This place is very, very dark, very nasty. And this is where I would tell you, if you're playing with kids, I would change this up so that there's not so many severed, torsos and body parts, limbs missing, heads severed. And this is where it's definitely a little bit more adult in theme. But it leads to that great dark, kind of nasty, clownish stuff that's in this adventure. And of course this picture here, and it's very much reminiscent of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but this is where they take people's body parts and they make these demonic clowns that are going through this carnival. You've got the music box here. This is a great piece of art here. And it's got this juggling master of poodles, as well as these ghastly poodles. So it's a cool thing. This is actually a really neat encounter. So he tells jokes, and you're going to tell a joke, and depending on how your players actually, if they laugh or not to the joke, is how he's going to react in the encounter. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So it's fun to be able to kind of put your players in this, in the actual spot of what the characters are going to have to do. Like put them on, put them front and center and see if they can do what the characters are going to have to do, or their reaction is going to affect if their characters live or not. The scary go-round is pretty important, as it's going to be the first thing that's going to take them on to and leading them towards this kind of the twisted side of this carnival. The other side, where you're going to go into the pocket dimension of the dark carnival. You're going to first face off against the Mouth of Madness. It's like an old dilapidated house, and it's got a couple of rooms with different things, either trying to kill them or a lot of, this one's got a lot of different type of traps. The players are going to be making a lot of saves throughout this adventure. Jumping across things, not trying to get killed by stuff like traps or sharp things that want to murder them. And that's where you're going to come across the unicorn statue. There's pinwheels of death. There's a tight maze, pretty much a maze that just gets very small, and there's all the rules here to how to figure out how to do it. And you can see there's many different types of monsters in this, so it's very beneficial in that regard. There's the ball trap, which it shows you this room with the door and a door, and this ball keeps going back and forward, and obviously if you don't do it right with your checks, this big ball is going to crush you into a fine pulp, more than likely. And then finally you'll enter the lair of the Black Jester, and here he is. He has his friend with him. So there's Emmerich Bertram, the Black Jester, and based off whether or not you have the items that are going to kind of break him out and make him realize his former self. And hopefully the characters have done that. The floor's got all these mouths that are trying to eat them, and then he's got this great little friend here, this huge clown golem with an enormous mallet that's going to try to kill you. So he has a wand of madness. And here's kind of a layout of the room. So it's going to tell you about the different type of options. Again, like I said, trying to kill him, or then trying to break him out of his Black Jester mind into his previous self. And this shows you talking here about how to set the Jester free. And then in conclusion. So there's a bunch of random encounters, including this lady here. And you can add these however you want. It explains how to do it within a tournament or not. And you roll for them, obviously, if you have an encounter. And she sells these different items that must be ingested. There's different types of zombies, bears, lions, monkeys, poodles, snakes that could come as an encounter. She's called the Scarbox Zombie. There are different zombie villagers. And then there's sword swallowers, animated doll and face balloons. Those are terrible. Severed head go-karts. They're pretty much the severed heads of people with little tiny fist-sized clowns riding them that have like spider legs that pop out of the heads. So again, pretty nasty. There's a skeletal organ grinder and monkey. Different types of clown anacondas. Sugary Pete, the candy golem. You saw him in the very beginning. There he is there. He's being chomped on by these little clowns that want to eat him. And he's enraged. You'll have to fight him. And of course, you could possibly eat him. So that's beneficial. You've got all sorts of circus clowns, belly dancers, snake handlers, magician zombies, fire breathers. You've got the strongmen, contortionists. And then you've got the straight-up clowns, the flamers, the gassers, the bruisers, the jugglers, the muties, the contortionists, the floaters. And look at all these different type of, creatures. So you're getting a lot of monsters, obviously. And then there's balloons, some that explode, have laughing gas. Some of them are, the cannibal ones are actually made out of skin of human faces. Stink balloons. And then you've got this prize closet, which you can bring that out whenever you need to kind of give the players a little bit of help, or whenever they defeat certain rides. And it's got a bunch of different stuff to help them, from firecrackers to lollipops, top hat, and they all have certain abilities that are going to help them with this adventure. And there's the closet right there. Magic rings, a paddle ball, mechanical monkey with cymbals, squirting flower, and it's just got there's clown noses that you can wear. So there's just a bunch of stuff. And go get yourself clown noses when you run this adventure, and then hand them out to your players. So there's just a lot of fun you can have with these different items and with these different encounters. It's going to explain here about the magic lantern slides and how they slide into the camera to tell the story. And it's going to tell you what each one of them shows the players and the characters. And then there's tips and notes here talking about the different style of tournament, and just explaining to that people who might be new to that style. And whether or not you're doing a 0-level funnel as a con, or you're doing it with no time constraint, multiple sessions with maybe your at-home friends. And then there's going to be the ride up here, the Birth of the Pantheon. This is going to have Gelos as a patron. So you get Gelos, the Black Jester, Old Grin Maw, and Death's Mooncalf is different names of him. And you're going to have his invoke patron check, as well as a cool piece of art of his, and so on and so forth. The normal stuff you'd see with DCC with the, one of the patrons. So, and then as we get to the end, his spell burn. So that's it. And then at the end, some great pictures that's happened in tournaments, obviously happening at cons and stuff like that. If you pick up the PDF, there is another, there's another download you can get that's in there, and it's going to tell you more about how to do the tournament. It's going to have paper mini cutouts that you can use should you use paper minis, as well as all the art in this, so that you can print those out easily from that one PDF. So yeah, there it is. Like I said, it's on Ttrpg. I thought it was, he just did a great job for his first, product he's made. And of course, I think if you read this, you can kind of see a little bit of kind of the mind that's involved around Weird Frontiers, which used to be Dark Trails. And hopefully that'll be out as soon as it gets out to the Kickstarter backers, once it gets off the boat. And we of course are anxiously waiting that. It's been like, this wait's been long and for years, so it'll be great to have that. And I should hope to be able to do a video beforehand showing you what those books are going to look like. Kind of do a flip through kind of like this of it, and be able to talk a little bit more about my involvement in it as well. So there it is, the Carnival of the Damned. It's just a lot of product here, and you can take out those encounters and use them for other adventures. Maybe you have some story or something, you've got a campaign, and maybe one of these rides could come into play somehow. You could use that. So, and you could also run this many, many times with different players, maybe at conventions or at your local store, and you can never do the same rides twice. You can pick different ones, and see how they kind of do with the different type of encounters that they have. So it's very kind of malleable in that sense. So there it is, the Carnival of the Damned. Very proud of David. It was a lot of work, and of course I think that goes in with like Weird Frontiers, how it ballooned up to 900 pages. Like, there's just a lot of work involved, and it's like you want to give as much as you can into the product, so that you really sit back when someone looks at it and goes, wow, someone put a lot of work into this. So there it is, Carnival of the Damned. Please subscribe if you haven't before. I think like 82% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed, but apparently that's pretty normal. So I appreciate all the people who have recently subscribed, as the numbers keep going up and getting closer and closer to 1,000, which would be cool. So share this with anybody. I'm going to try to do more videos, and hopefully this has been helpful for anyone who's maybe been on the fence or looking for a new funnel for DCC RPG. And there's tons of stuff in here to mine, even if you don't play DCC RPG. A lot of stuff to be able to get out of it, and you can do the conversions for it. So there it is, the Carnival of the Damned, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.